depending upon where we are, we might go back to the beginning, but eventually we want to do a full walkthrough. But Charlie Kimball and others have taken us through section 41, up to 41 on page 59.
Yeah.
So if we can just get an
Yeah, we
overview.
did it.
on-
41.
Is that the last? If we could just get an overview on the last few sections, that would be helpful.
Willing to bet. So David Hall, Legislative Council, this is H703, yes. Yeah, so almost half of the people in my office worked in this bill, which is pretty impressive.
Somehow, given what we've been talking about so far, it doesn't surprise me.
It's pretty
It's
amazing.
pretty all over the place.
Which
So,
section are you up to? You said 40?
Section 41.
All right. Well, this is page 59 of 68 of the as passed the House version. And, section 41 is one of those sections that are literally just findings. And it preserves, I suppose, the concept of adult education and literacy in this bill. It's important to Vermonters, but otherwise doesn't do anything legally. So that's that.
So it doesn't have any money.
Nope.
And it's session law.
Yep.
And it's just a finding section.
Indeed.
Is there any discussion as to why it was put in, or the importance of putting it in, or was it a vestige of something much bigger? This is all that was left.
Actually, not a vestige of something bigger. It is in this bill. This came in right towards the end, and doesn't bring anything more. Not really sure. There was a request this language be included, and it was honored, and that was it.
Okay. Is this a section that was written by you or someone else?
Mostly by someone else.
Like,
This comes from, I actually don't even know the organization. It's one of the,
Oh, okay, so it's an
Clients of-
advocacy group that wanted this.
exactly, and I don't even actually know which group it was.
More findings on section 42.
Yeah, but these do go along with a new section of law and money. So this work was actually done in the House Agriculture and Forestry Committee. So sections 42 through 45, and it relates to the Forest Future Strategic Roadmap. There are a lot of findings about the forest economy, how important it is to the state in section 42. Section 43 creates a new chapter entitled 10, Vermont Forest Future Strategic Roadmap. And so this, in a nutshell, it will be an FPR directed process to come up with this Forest Future Strategic Roadmap. If you see in the bottom of page 62, subsection D here, the intended outcomes of this roadmap: increase economic development and jobs in the forest economy, promote expansion of forest enterprises, also promote the health of forests and the products that come from it, identify actionable strategies to strengthen and modernize new product development, open new markets for forest products, manufacturing processes, etc. So under C, the content, FPR is going to go through all the data, all the plans, the working lands work, infrastructure investments that we've had, any regulatory barriers, opportunities for state agencies to work together and to engage the economy. Work 5 relates to future workforce in the forest economy. 6 is about permitting transportation regulation of forest products enterprises, and I assume that relates to everything from vehicle weights to equipment.
So this seems fairly large, just like a telecommunication plans for cars, essentially.
I think so.
It's pretty comprehensive.
Yeah,
It's good, and I'm just curious how it ties into the serve, learn, earn, because this involves so many of the same players.
the server and learn is the 4 groups, right, who have those sort of experiential workforce opportunities,
But-
some of which are related to the forest, but not all of them.
No, but-
This one is, yeah, it's like a
lot to
roadmap for the industry, for the workforce, for the sector.
So what's the money in these sections, David?
So on page 67, section 45, they have 250,000 for a 2-year contract to do this work for the roadmap.
We should hear from Michael Snyder on this.
Yeah.
also.
I think so.
And did this come from natural resources?
Yeah, agriculture
agriculture,
and
forestry.
forestry.
It came from Forest Park and Recs, my guess is this is Michael Snyder. I'm having
I
breakfast.
met with committee.
Also,
I think this is a Commerce Committee oversight piece,
Sure.
and ag, right?
all the work was done in
By ag.
ag and with
Okay.
micrograding. So
Got it,
this was
okay.
one of the pieces that was essentially the I don't know how much Representative Kimball told you about their process, but you know, those committees all did completely independent work and then just dropped it into this bill.
Yeah,
So-
we're finding that. So the reason I thought that Charlie would have had quite a bit of oversight is that the Rural Economic Development Working Group has had as a top priority the forest products industry. So their commerce is pretty well acquainted with the needs for this industry.
I think they tried to, work closely and stay in touch with the committees of jurisdiction, but language proposals were developed for other rooms.
So this is, I guess touches both on workforce and economic development, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I was just looking through because I was surprised that they didn't have a finding around the aging out of foresters and like it doesn't directly in my mind speak to like the workforce issue among foresters and forestry, which is fine, I guess, but
No,
It's a
it's,
little lot.
I think it's key to making it a sustainable industry, the forest
Right.
products industry.
right, and they just don't spell out like this is the workforce need and this is how we're addressing the workforce needs. It's a roadmap, it's like a workforce roadmap around forestry.
Or is it an industry sector survival roadmap?
Okay, so the last section is just allocating money from the ERG program that hasn't been spent yet.
Right. Yeah, some bill somewhere is going to need to contain the mechanics of moving that money about. So it's in this bill in this form. H-159 at this point has proposed language that's
Right.
modeled on this to do the same.
So they proposed to take 8 million out of the ER. How much are they spending out of the ERG 25.5?
They're spending all of it in this bill.
Okay, so that's their source of money.
That's one of the sources of this. Well, that's, yeah. There's $8 million plus the 17 point, actually, the 17.5 for the arts plus this $8 million equals the 25.5.
Got it.
And everything else is general. This is all part.
So
Are
the
you-
whole price tag is 27 million,
Sorry,
the whole price tag is 27 million, or you said 27 plus 8?
I'm having a little trouble hearing because I don't have a hearing loss, but I'll say, so in the stuff that Stephanie's worked out, she has 17.5 and H624, which is the arts and culture. It's all opera. And then there's this 8 million, which is additional opera. So basically, they've taken all of the 25.5 from the VRG program and put it in those two sources. All the rest of their money, which is another 20 something with it, is general fund. Full time.
Okay,
All these miscellaneous programs,
okay,
virtually all of them are general fund.
okay.
David, do you know whether ECCD is still open for business on ERG? I mean, if someone walked in and said, I want some money under the ERG program, they have plenty. Are they taking the application?
I have no idea operationally, legally, there's no reason they couldn't be.
Right. Well, that's a good stopping place. Thank you, committee. And we're going to take a break.